We're fighting for rights.
We're fighting for rights.
We're fighting for peace.
We're fighting for peace.
We're fighting for freedom.
We're fighting for freedom.
We're fighting for life.
We're fighting for life.
We're fighting for Shannen.
We're fighting for Shannen.
Other kids too.
And other kids too.
So please help.
Please help.
Please help.
Please help.
Hello, my name is Rai Patel, and I'm 8 years old. Today I would like to talk to you a little bit how the story began of how First Nations are getting treated poorly. It all started off when the Europeans came. They came to Canada, where the First Nations were, and they signed a treaty, right, that they would respect the lands and they would respect First Nations. So the First Nations taught them how to live, and they taught them the culture and their lifestyle was. And after a while, the European people didn't need them anymore, so they kind of didn't really treat them well anymore. And after lots of years, they decided to put them. They weren't treating them very well, so they decided to put them in residential school because they thought that their culture wasn't good, and they wanted them to become like the Europeans. They wanted them to speak English and French, not their language. So they put them in residential schools, and that's how they learned their culture. And in residential schools, they weren't allowed to speak their language, and they were taken away from their families at very young ages. So they didn't really enjoy residential schools, and it was really bad for them, and that's how the situation all started.
Hello, my name is Stephanie, and I'll be talking about the services and homes for First Nations. In First Nations homes, they have a bunch of mold in their houses, and their water isn't the same as ours because it has a lot of dirty stuff in it, and if First Nations get sick, they just have to wait and see what happens because they don't have good doctors to take care of it.
Hi, I'm Shannen, and I'm in grade 5.
Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm also in grade 5.
And we're going to be talking about Shannen. Shannen Kustashen was a young girl, and she lived up north in Etiwapiskat, and she had a bad education in a bad school. And on her way back from school, she got in a terrible car accident before her 16th birthday with her friend.
Shannen, she wanted to be a lawyer, but she didn't have the proper education, so she drove miles and miles to get to a proper school. And she knew that it wasn't right that she had to do that just to get a good education. So she went to the government and asked them if they could give all First Nations a proper education. But they denied her and said no, so she kept fighting and writing letters and telling other kids about it. But when she died, it was a very sad moment for everyone, and we all started continuing on her dream of letting everyone have the equal rights.
Hi, I'm Leah, and I'm in grade 5, and I'm going to be talking about the education. In their schools, they don't really learn about the stuff we do, and when they're in high school, they're not going to be able to graduate really well because they're not going to know that much stuff. And if they get sent here, and they're going to be asked questions in school, they might not be able to answer because they didn't learn it in their schools. And so I was thinking maybe that if they were learning better in school, then there wouldn't be much problems from their residential schools. So their schools have gas leaks and everything, and they've been teared down because of those. So.
Hello, my name's Alessa and I go to Pierre Elliott Trudeau. I'm in grade 3 and I'm 9 years old. What we've been doing is we've gone on marches, lots of other stuff like that. And what you can do is you can go on marches, you can write letters and teach people about Shannen's dream. Thank you.
We're fighting for rights.
We're fighting for rights.
We're fighting for peace.
We're fighting for peace.
We're fighting for freedom.
We're fighting for
We're
freedom.
fighting for life.
We're fighting for life.
We're fighting for Shannen.
Fighting for Shannen.
And other kids too.
And other kids too.
So please help.
Please help.
Please help.
Please help.